greatest sitcom of all time is pretty fun debate, but it's a pretty easy one because it's obviously The Office, right? The Office had 9 seasons. It was between 2005, 2013. IMDb rated it 8.9 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes gave it 80%. TV.com gave it a 9 out of 10. Now, that's just the ratings, right? The characters were amazing, right? You got Michael Scott, you got Dwight Schrute, you got Jim Halpert, you got Pam Beesly, you got Phyllis, you got Stanley. Like, this one shows that you know everybody's names, right? You got to know their names and you know their stories, and it has great character development. But you can also watch the show in passing, right? You be sitting there doing some homework. You be sitting there playing a game with this in the background. It's perfect for Netflix and chill. You can do a little bit of everything, all right? So The Office is the greatest sitcom of all time, and you cannot debate it. I don't know how you're going to debate it, but you can't. So I'm gonna leave it there before I destroy you with all these facts. But I'm gonna go ahead and let you go.
So The Office, while it is a great show, one of my favorites as well. And it's like it's an all-time when you got those memorable characters there too, but you gotta look out for the new one that's on the come up now. I mean, it came out in 2014, but we're talking about Rick and Morty here, man, as the greatest sitcom of all time. Even though it's in season 4, got 4 seasons in, we're talking about its lowest rated season on Rotten Tomatoes they've come up with is 91%, and that was season 2. And they've had 2 seasons at 96% rating right now. And it's something new and it's something original because you got a adult sci-fi show that they have on Adult Swim there, like that came out with the Family Guys, shows like
they
that.
They had an adult sci-fi show before.
Not like this one.
Futurama was an adult sci-fi.
It was an adult sci-fi. It was in the same genre, but this one's different in a way because that one takes place in the future, going chronologically as the guy's waking up. But this one here, this is intergalactic criminal that came back to see his kids again after being on the run for so long. And so looking at just an original script that has endless possibilities because it takes place in the multiverse to where he's traveling to all these different Earths on different parallel universes, and that lends itself to more creativity, and you're gonna see something new every time. One of the reasons I say that too, that it's gonna be a great show all time one because of like the infinite possibilities, but every episode is like a mini movie. Like you don't know what kind of show you're gonna get each time, and like it's got these memorable characters, memorable lines and stuff. Like who can forget Pickle Rick, man, stuff like that. And then they got it's got this craze around it too, to where they even brought back a McDonald's sauce. Like,
I feel you with that. Like, I feel you, and they're not the only ones with something memorable. Like The Office itself there's so many memes and there's so many gifts, right? You want to talk about memorable? We have the one when Ryan is like writing down the notebook and closing it. That's like the most memorable memes of all. Like if somebody says something, I'm putting that in there. It's gifts and memes. Like there's T-shirts, there's everything. You know, Schrute Farms. Everybody knows Schrute Farms. Like like Beats. Like I would have known nothing about Beats or Scranton, Pennsylvania. Fun fact about Scranton, PA. Guess who's from Scranton, PA? Our president-elect. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Biden is from Scranton, PA. So there's no other reason to like him.
I mean,
there you go.
He didn't even show up on that show. He showed up on Parks and Rec. But he didn't show up on The Office.
Hey, you know The Office. Hey, we had, you know what I'm saying. We didn't want too many, you know what I'm saying, people slide in on the show. We didn't want to do too much. You know what I'm saying,
man. Y'all had interest for a couple episodes, but y'all ain't had a president-elect on there. So.
I mean, I feel you. Hey, be like that sometimes, man. He had better things to do.
Nah, I feel you, but like. It's like that's something there, but it's got other shows like that in a way. But this one here, man, it's something new, and it's professionally honest in talking points, and it addresses things going on in society too, like because they got the opportunity to do that with like show to drop seasons at a time and all that. Like it's got cynical, like it's got a cynical outlook at the same time with storytelling, but it's got a lot of pop culture references, things like that. And you have like philosophy it dives into, and other sciences it easily explains along the way, and it doesn't distract or overdo it like that. Like it's just a funny show. It's a good watch to just go away the long way.
It is funny, but I feel like if we really want to nitpick, some of the stuff in Rick and Morty be like going over my head. Like some of the stuff be a little too much. Like don't get me wrong, it's fun. Like you said, it's cynical. We got a lot of There's a whole lot going on, but sometimes it can be a little overstimulated. With The Office, it's simple. It's just 10 to 15 people sitting in the office, and this is their everyday life. And something so simple became something so captivating to an entire nation. And so many people can watch it because it's not too vulgar and inappropriate like Rick and Morty. Rick and Morty, you can't watch it with your grandparents or with certain people in your family. It's a little too much. But at The Office, you can watch The Office. I feel you.
It's kind of niche like in a way.
But they straight drop the F-bomb all throughout Rick and Morty.
It comes on at the time. It comes on too on the adult Swim.
I feel you.
Like, when it comes with that and stuff, like, I get what you mean. Like, it's kind of like more like family friendly stuff. Like, characters you can kind of see every day too. But like, when you look at Rick and Morty, you got opportunity to see stuff you ain't seen before. Like, they kind of come up with all this stuff off the top, and they got funny lines, and they just kept going around doing all these crazy adventures, like some what ifs they could dive into, like. What if he went back in high school? Yeah. What if he could like do whatever he
got that flexibility.
Like, they got that Purge episode. You got just things like that.
I feel like that's okay. So the flexibility part, I'll give you that because like with it being an animation, you can do way more, right? You can just nothing's impossible, especially since it's the multiverse thing going on. So literally anything that you want to do with the episode, you can, right? But that's just the complexity. That just means you just have the ability to do a bunch of stuff. So that's fine. But that doesn't mean everything will be created well and created good, right? The Office, the characters you fell in love with, like Michael Scott, you was like, man, you hated him, but then he was like, I kind of liked the dude. And then when they were being mean to him, he was like, man, you kind of felt bad. He's like, why am I feeling bad for him? It's like a family dynamic. It was like Jim and Pam were like the parents, and Michael's like the kid, and Dwight is like Jim's brother. And it's like all these things, and it's just like, you just see the character development, right? You see Jim go from like the goofy salesman to actually he grows up, right? He goes to Philly and he, starts that sports, I don't know, sports marketing or something like that. And it's just like, you see Pam, she goes from like the quirky little shy woman and she's standing up for herself and all that. Dwight and Angela, they get together, and Ryan and Kelly, they bring them, get back together. She has a whole baby and then just drops it off. It's like, forget it, I'm out with Ryan. And it's just like that show, it's just got so much going on, and you can always watch it. Does not matter what you're doing, you can have The Office playing, and you look up every now and then and be like, that's hilarious. And then, just keep going about your day. And one more thing before I go. It has 1 Golden Globe, right? 50 wins, 193 nominations, and Netflix users watch it 3% of the time, which is a lot for one show. Which is why NBC's new app, they paid $100 million plus to get the show back, right? And they for the Netflix users, they watch it 45.8 billion minutes. And that's better than Friends. And we all know Friends is an amazing show. And if The Office is beating the Friends and The Office has been on there less time than come on now.
Those are NBC shows though too, man. You gotta think about The Office and Friends and things like
that. But The Office didn't become as popular until it hit Netflix, where it was able to reach our generation as well, right? Well, not all shows can do that.
How many times did you say, are you still watching them?
Yeah, I mean, but you still gotta click it back on. You know why? You just proved me a point. You always gonna click yes with The Office. Rick and Morty, I'd be like, man, there's so much going on. People getting blown up. I ain't trying to say too much morbid and saying stuff like that. But Rick and Morty's good.
They got the good cycles. They got the good storylines and just like the points that they come to, even like going through therapy and things like that. Like it touches a lot of stuff, and I think like The Office does as well. It gives you like just some funny laughs here and there, but. You're looking at something too here where it's...
well, I can say this though. What would be your favorite Rick and Morty episode? What's your favorite thing about Rick and Morty? Why do you think, if you had to give it just one reason, this is why Rick and Morty is just that show?
I would say the one reason on that's tough. I mean, it's got so many things you can talk about with it. And I would say the best thing about it is you never know.
I mean, the unpredictability factor.
And just Rick himself, the main character. Yeah. Like, he's like...
They can stress you out, though, as a viewer, man. You watch the show like, damn, I don't know what's about to happen, man. You just don't know,
He's a self-proclaimed asshole. Even when talking about his shitty parents, he's like, I'm a shit parent.
He does.
He owns whatever.
He kind of reminds me of a show we were just watching, Shameless, with with the dad. But yeah, well, if I had to think about The Office, I feel like the best thing about The Office is that you can just watch it whenever. Like I can literally I can turn The Office all day and be doing work and watching it and laughing and chilling. I can fall asleep too. You can't fall asleep no Rick and Morty. You might have a nightmare. You're like, well, I want to dream about, getting infused with some other stuff. And don't get me wrong, Rick and Morty does open your mind to possibilities, right? And it's not closed-minded. You're not just thinking like, there's possibilities of the universe, other life forms and stuff. And I love that, but I feel like The Office is just a little more practical. It's a little more relatable to so many different types of people that are not always into sci-fi, because sci-fi and like that multiverse stuff is kind of like a newer generation kind of thing. Mm-hmm. The Office, you can a lot of different generations can hop in it, but nevertheless, it's still a good show. I give you it's a cold number 5.
A cold.
But I there's a couple other shows after The Office I have to put before it, but it'll make that.
Hey man, that was a good one, and I'll say this though. It does have its awards too. It's got 2 Primetime Emmys for Outstanding Animation Program, and it's also been nominated for other Peabody Awards and things like that. But it's new. It's new into the TV game, and it just got renewed to get 10 seasons worth. So I just say stay tuned, and you'll see why it's already a legend in the making.
They gotta earn their stripes. Maybe one day. But not everybody can be LeBron. You feel me? We out here.